Hello, how are you? My name is Willy Mouna. I'm a spiritual teacher from Brazil. I've been teaching here in Brazil for more than 7 years already. I have 4 published books, I do retreats, and I have groups, online groups that I see every week. But now I want to start to talk more in English and to speak more in English with you guys. I want to be able to expand my work outside of Brazil. And I was born actually in Missouri, in the United States. So since I'm very young, I have a love to speak in English. I'm sure I'm gonna speak many wrong things on this video because I'm not fluent. My first language is Portuguese, so I ask you guys to to have to feel love for my mistakes that I'm gonna do on this video. But I'm sure that the more I practice and the more I do videos like that, I'm sure that it's gonna be better and better and better. But what is important is not to speak the perfect English, but from where I'm speaking. This is the most important thing. Perhaps I could be the person with the most perfect, the perfect language and the most perfect way of speaking English, but if my words are not coming from the heart, so it's not worth it. So what I can guarantee to you is that my words are coming from my heart. And I want to begin this first video actually talking about a subject that's gonna be difficult for me to speak in English, but whatever, I need to do it, and I need to believe that I'm gonna be able to speak everything in English. And the subject of today is karma. Karma, and also this word that people speak a lot, process. So just to begin, I want to say a quote from Nisargadatta Maharaj. He's one of the teachers that I most enjoy and I most have love for. I really love his book, I Am That. I think is my favorite spiritual book, and Nisargadatta has the most direct way of teaching. And what he says about karma is that the scriptures say that we have our karma and our sin, and that is why we are here. But this is for the ignorant masses, one who has realized the self-knowledge I am. For him, these stories are of no use. So, what he's saying here is that there is karma and there is sin, but this is only when we are living from the ignorance, like he said. It's only while we are living in our mind, in our ego mind, in the unconscious mind. But there is another perspective, and that's the purpose of this video. There is another perspective on spirituality, and most of the times this perspective comes from the direct path. The direct path is what I teach on my teachings, is what rupertspira teaches, is what adyashanti uses to teach, is what Nisargadatta teaches, is what Ramana Maharshi teaches. The name is direct path. On the direct path, we go directly to the source. We investigate who or what am I. We don't stay too much time losing our time seeing this process or this body mind that is full of karma, right? I understand you. If you are like, what he's saying, I have so much karma, and there's so much karma on this life, on this world, and our past lives. And I understand that there is karma on one perspective and one point of view. But there is another perspective that there is no karma and there is no process. And just to give you example, it's like a person who is dreaming, like a person who is dreaming, and the person is dreaming another life on his dream. And the life that this person is dreaming looks so real. And the problems that this person that is sleeping has on the dream look so real as well. And that's a true perspective from the point of view of the person who is sleeping. From the point of view of the dreamer, the person who is sleeping, all this life, the dreaming life, is real. But when he wakes up from the dream, he sees that nothing was really real, and all the things that he was doing while he was dreaming was not necessary. So this is what we are speaking here. There is this dreaming life, this dream world, this ego life, this ego story. And every one of us has this ego as well. But there comes a moment when we realize something that is behind the ego, something that is way more real than the ego. Actually, it's not more real than the ego, it's the only real thing that there is. And is the substract, is the reality behind the ego, is the source of the ego. And not only the source of the ego, but is the source of all this life. And we call that awareness or consciousness or pure consciousness, or we could call I am. I am is our real nature, is what we are before I am this or I am that. So this process of investigating who we are, it's called Atma Vichara on Sanskrit, is self-inquire. And the purpose of self-inquire is so you can stay on a place of self-abidance, of resting in being, resting on being. So when we realize this awareness, this consciousness, this space that is pure space, we see that this awareness is free of karma. There is no conditioning for this awareness. Just to give you an example, I'm gonna take here a book. This book is from Rupertspira. And you see, on this book, there is a page, and on this page, there is words, okay? And we could say that this page, it's corrupted by the words, okay? And it's full of karma. But remember that this paper, before the words the paper was white and it was not corrupted by these words. So if we take these words out of the paper is gonna be realized to see what he was before in the beginning. The paper was always white and it was always pure. It's not such a good analogy because now it's printed here on this book. So a better analogy would be like a piece of clothing that is so dirt that you can say, oh, this piece of clothes, it's so full of karma, and so full of conditioning, it's so full of traumas. But remember that when you bought, let's say, this t-shirt was pure in the beginning. It was without conditioning. It was without any smell. Like this t-shirt I'm using here, it's my gym t-shirt. I'm going to the gym after I finish this video. And then this t-shirt, it was, when we bought the t-shirt, it was all clean and no dirt. But imagine now that I spill a coffee here. Actually, I wanted to do my coffee, but I forgot, and I started to make this video. But if I drop here a coffee, it's gonna look that this t-shirt has now another karma or another conditioning or another, let's say, a stain on this t-shirt. And when I look to this t-shirt, I say, oh my God, now this t-shirt, there is no way back. This t-shirt is already over. But remember, if we put this t-shirt to clean, and this t-shirt probably will come back to be what it was when we bought the t-shirt. Okay? Sometimes when we put this t-shirt to clean, it's not gonna clean in one wash. Perhaps we need to put on a I forgot the word in English, on a buckle. See, I'm gonna remember the words while I'm talking. So we put on a buckle full of water and we let there the t-shirt resting for many hours, perhaps days, so it can wash away this new stain. But remember that this stain doesn't belong to the t-shirt. The stain is only temporary. So when we take out the stain from the t-shirt, the t-shirt becomes what it was already. The t-shirt was already pristine in the beginning. It only looked dirty and full of stains from the point of view of the ego mind. So that's exactly what happens with our awareness. Actually, there is no way of we making the consciousness dirt. We cannot put stains on the awareness. When we realize the true I am, this pure I am, this pure awareness, this pure consciousness, we see that it's free of stains, it's free of conditioning, it's free of karma. When you meditate and when you see now, I'm seeing now this awareness, I see that I'm not seeing like as a subject and object, I'm resting. And it's free, it's just peace, it's just love, it's just natural, it's just pristine. It's just, it was never affected. It was never affected by anything that happened on my life or in past lives. But when we look at when we start to look at our minds and body, you're gonna find many conditioning here. You're gonna find a lot of karma. You're gonna find so much karma on this body, mind, and ego, right? I'm sure about that. On my life as well. But that's exactly what I am trying to express here for you. There is this quote of Ramana Maharshi, another teacher that I respect so much as well, that he says that when there is not a me, there is no karma anymore. So we only have karma while we are living and believing on this separate I am, on this separate I am this. I am William, I am Willy, I am Maria, I am Martha, I am, you understand what I mean? This separate subject that is the illusion of ego, That's where most of the humanity lives their lives. And they don't realize what they are before this person, this identity. And I'm not saying that after you realize the I am, the pure awareness, you still are going to have an ego. But this ego is going to serve the pure I am, is going to serve the pure consciousness. So I remember there is two ways of explaining that, and I think in Sargadatta or Ramana Maharshi they speak about that. Is a enlightened ego or a ego without ego. And that's very paradoxal, right? It's like a koan. It's a mystery. What is an ego without an ego? Or what is an enlightened ego, right? That's a koan that I will leave for you to discover on your own path. So, when we look for this identity and this life or this personality or this individual personality, we're gonna find so much stuff here. But when we look, when we rest as being on this pure awareness, we are not going to find anything. Another example that I can give you is like, see the space where you are now, the space of your room or your living room, like this space that I am here now. You see, there is many subjects here. There is many objects actually. There's many objects here. I am here, and other persons lived here before I was here. And there's many objects here, furnitures. So when we look for this space, we imagine that this space is being affected by all these objects, by all this material stuff. But when we take out all the objects in this living room, when I go out of this living room, you see that this space here is still on its natural and pristine condition. It was never affected by any objects that was there or not there. Also, this room that I am now, it's on a building. So imagine now that we take out the walls from this room. You're gonna see that this space, it was not affected even by the walls. The walls was only an illusion of separateness. That's a difficult word for me. It only looked a room that is separate from the point of view of the mind. But when you take out the walls, you see that the space that is here, it's also, it shares the same space outside of this space. Actually, there is no inside or outside space. There is only one pure space that is pristine, immaculate. I don't know if this word exists. In Portuguese is maculado. Immaculado means that it was never affected. It is pristine, it's pure. Okay? So when you see that this space here, it shares the same space as the space outside of this room. And even though there is walls on these buildings, or there is a building here, I'm sure that you saw one time in your life a building that it was destroyed, right? So when the building is here, and when it's destroyed and it goes to the floor, you see that the space that it was there is seen as the same space that was before the building. So even though this building was there for 30 years, it didn't affect 1% of the space. So this analogy that I'm trying to give to you is the same as the awareness that we are, this pure being that we are. This pure being, even though it looks corrupted by the ego mind or the body mind, ego mind. It is not. This pure space, it's free of karma and process. The only thing that is living processes, it's this ego mind, this ego body mind. And like the teachers, the masters, they always say that this body mind, it's gonna live what is supposed to live. So even though we realize that I am awareness, this body mind is still going to live what is supposed to live. That's why Ramana Maharshi had a cancer. Eckhart Tolle had a cancer 3 or 4 years ago. Nisargadatta had a cancer on the throat. And Ram Dass had a stroke. So even though we can realize the pure awareness, this body mind is still going to live what is supposed to live. Okay? This is important to understand. But when we start to live on the pure awareness, we stop creating more karma. And also we can purify a lot of the karma of this body mind. We cannot, let's say, purify 100% of this body mind karma. Perhaps. I cannot say that. But let's say we can purify 95% of the body mind karma only by understanding that we are this awareness that is free of karma. Okay? And that's such a beautiful thing to see. But that's the problem, that people are trying to purify their karma from the point of view of the ego. And the ego only creates more ego. The ego only creates more karma. So the persons that believe in karma or believe in this world process, they are only creating more process and only creating more karma while they are living on this individual identity, this separate identity. The only way of stopping creating more karma and to be free of the wheel of karma is to realize this space that is not only on the background, but this space that is the reality and the source of our life and our things. So, I understand that this is a bit difficult to understand, perhaps, while we are living on the ego mind. It's very difficult to understand this point of view. In the same way that when you see the teachings of Nisargadatta or Ramana Maharshi, they say that there is nobody here. Even though I'm talking, I'm gonna give this example now, even though I'm talking, I have no sensation of doing something. Even though I'm listening, I don't have any sensation of listening to something. So it's very strange to see these things from the outside. Because when we see this person, it looks that they are doing something. It looks that they are doing something from the same point of view that we do our things. From our point of view, we talk from the ego, we speak from the ego, we listen from the ego. But when we listen to these teachings that says that we are not doing anything, that we are not, that it's just this flowing, it's very different from our point of view. Always when I speak to persons that I speak from a place of no mind, it's very difficult for them to understand, and it's okay, I understand that. I remember this quote that is very beautiful that says that true thinkers don't think. So what it means, true thinkers don't think? It means that the persons that really are using the thought as a tool, as a marvelous tool, as a beautiful tool, is the ones that don't think. So true thinkers don't think. While we are thinking from the point of view of thinking, we are still just living thoughts that comes from illusions. But when we are on this on this place of no thinking, then it comes from us these beautiful thoughts that comes from the source. So it's another paradox as well. True thinkers don't think. Ego without ego, enlightened ego, right? These things they're very, for me, they're beautiful koans. So I think I can finish here this video. It's a good way of starting to understand and to share about these teachings of karma. And don't get me wrong, I understand the other point of view where it says that karma is true and process are true and sin is true. I understand that. And I understand that this point of view is also real from the point of view of the body-mind. So there is many points of view and they're all true from their own perspective. So from the perspective of awareness, there is no karma. From the point of view of the ego, there is karma. And it has value. The karma has many benefits and purpose on the life of the individual identity. There is purpose for karma. But when you achieve self-realization, all these things are not, I'm trying to remember the word in English, I only know in Portuguese, is irrelevante in Portuguese. It's like, it's just not real anymore, not necessary. Okay? It's like when we are childs and we were learning to ride a bike and our father and mother put these small wheels to help us use the bike. But when we grow up more, our father and mother say, oh, you can already ride the bike without these wheels. So they take out the wheels and we can ride. So I understand that karma and process and all these things, they have value and they are real from their own perspective. Okay, I'm not negating them, and we shouldn't create a resistance or a fight against them. Okay, because while we are living on this ego identity, they are still going to have value in our life and they are still going to work in our life. We can only say that karma is not real when we realize the awareness and we are living on this awareness our lives. Perhaps I could say to you 95% of our days on this awareness. Because one thing, I can do another video talking about the subject as well in the future. One thing is to realize the pure being, and another thing is to live on this place our day, on our work, on our relationships, when we are cooking, when we are speaking, when we are listening. So this is what takes a long time for us to establish. That's the difference between, let's say, you and a true spiritual teacher. The spiritual teacher is someone that is established on this I am, and is living perhaps 98% of his life on this awareness. Okay? So I think I can finish here. Thank you very much for being here. It's very welcome if you want to share your thoughts or your feelings, your intuitions about the subject. and is very welcome if you have more subjects that you would like for me to speak. I want to do more and more videos in English. I will practice more my English while I'm speaking here. My mother actually, she's an English teacher, so that's also another synchronization. I was born in the United States. I lived there a few times. My mother is an English teacher. My mother and father, they are living in Canada now. So I think for me it's very natural now to expand this work for the English language, and also I really have a deep connection to the English language. And all my teachers, they were always speaking in English as well. Adyashanti, rupertspira, Moji. And I want to do retreats also in Europe, in Americas, United States and Canada. I want to create groups because I feel that in outside here, outside South America, people are very ready for the direct path. I think people are ready to realize who they really are, and it's like that, it's more easy compared here to Brazil. I feel that here in Brazil, people are still playing on the, how is the name? On the, when you go to this place to play on the roller coasters and all the, oh, I forgot this word, I need to remember. Anyway, people here, I feel that they're still playing and trying to find something still to sustain their egos. You know that we can enter spirituality and stay many years just creating more identity for our egos. So I believe that in United States and Europe, people are very ready because they already spend so much time on spirituality that they're ready to wake up. They're ready to wake up for the true I am. They don't want to lose more time because they are already lost time. They don't want to create another ego because they already created many spiritual egos. So that's why I feel that my work is gonna be more welcome in North America and Europe. So that's it. Thank you very much. Blessings for you. I'm very happy that we can stay here together, and I'm sure that we're gonna have a lot of more beautiful moments together. Thank you very much.